Hello. Thank you for joining us again. It's Wednesday. FTB Sports covering the NFL. This is Through the Table. Today, team defense. Oh, yes. It's our second edition of our ranking system, our our ranking predictions for the upcoming 2022 season. We started off with tight ends, but what we are doing today is what builds and sustains and makes champions defense. And my buddy, Donnie Shoemaker, I'm pretty
What's up,
sure
Brit?
when
How you
he
doing,
looks
man?
like I'm doing good, I'm pretty sure when you were trying to get into the NFL and you were like, maybe not necessarily wanting to pick a favorite team, but I want to look and watch this team. Like when you watch a game, like when you see good defense being played, like that stands out
It
when you
does.
watch games
Before I
week
was
in and
into
week.
football, I thought teams with good defense were just boring to watch because I didn't understand how much effort it takes to build a good defense. But no, you're definitely right. Um, but we have some good ones this year, and we have some not so good ones.
I,
But I think we
uh,
have a surprisingly amount of like pretty solid defenses.
you know what? And I would agree because like, and it's the same thing with this year. There are obvious gaps in between all the tiers
Oh yeah, yeah,
of team defense.
yeah,
Like
definitely.
a,
There's definitely
in
a
a lot,
cliff drop off.
yeah, in between each tier. Within the tier, there's also a drop off, but
That's true.
like it's not a big drop off. Like it doesn't look like a stair step.
Yeah. I do think though, I think with the
A couple
defenses,
do
man.
though. A couple
Yeah.
tiers do have some big stair steps, but not like cliff edges where when you get to the end of the elite tier, there's a cliff. When you get to the end of that's a really good defense,
Yeah.
there's a big drop off to like they're better than most. And
That's
they're
true.
looking at two cliff facings to elite, but they're telling you, hey, you are pretty good, but you're
Yeah.
looking that far up at the best defense. But they're still telling you you're good.
I think the thing about it is I think we've seen a lot of during this transition on offense too, but like a lot of these like old like high class names when it came to defense are starting to phase out of the game. So you're seeing a lot of new young cats really coming up. I mean, you still have the name brand names, and they still are there, but a lot of these teams are working with fairly new defenses, and I don't know if that's good or bad that they're all phasing at the same time almost, or if it's going to just kind of downgrade defense as a whole in general.
True, but here is the one thing I will say. The teams that have stuck to their morals and their history of building on a good defense,
Yeah,
it's like no matter how much we try to convince you and tell you that these defenses are poor,
yeah,
they're still above average.
like Pittsburgh, for
The
example.
the only reason above average defenses look poor is because of how good
The
the top of the
offenses, yeah,
mountain is. So you're very good defense, like we said, but you're still looking up two cliff facings.
Yeah.
But most of everybody else is under you.
I can tell you the
But the
collection of
few
some of
the
these
few
defenses.
guys above you, the
Yeah,
few guys above you are so far up there.
that's true.
It's like, well, at least they tell us we're good, so we know we are good. So
That's like
the
just
key
saying,
the key to those yeah, the
yeah,
key to those above average defenses
yeah.
will be them rallying with each other and being like, look, it looks like a big gap between us and the better defenses in the NFL. But people who analyze this game and examine this game every day, this game is their life. They tell us we are really, really good. And each one of us know we're competitors. We know we're really, really good. We just have to go out there every Sunday and play our game
That's true.
and just que sera, sera, man.
I just live by
Go
the
out
motto: if
there,
you ain't
give it
first,
your
you're
all.
last.
But
So,
when you're better than most, but still so far behind, it is defeating.
yeah,
And
you gotta take it in stride, man.
really good defenses on a regular basis look really bad every Sunday sometimes.
I mean, if you're bad every Sunday, you're not a good defense, regardless of what they're saying.
No, but we've seen really good defenses not play so good on a particular Sunday.
You're right. You're right. I mean, I'm not saying that doesn't happen any given Sunday, but the way you kind of said it
But
was like, if you go out there and you're good defense and you bomb every Sunday, then you're probably not a good defense.
no, but like what I mean, the stats won't back it up, but you can look at players and you can tell they're good, and you can tell when a guy gets beaten because of the scheme he's trying to play in
Yeah.
and how he reads that scheme. And then you can also see physical ability and how they react. You're like, hey, this guy, by you can look at the way he reacts and runs to a route that a wide receiver he's manned up on, and you can tell, why did he get beat? Did he get beat because he's not good enough? Did he get beat because he wasn't taught correctly? He has bad technique. Why did he get beat? If your scouts are good enough, they can determine that, and now you know how to make him a better corner.
Word.
But so, you know, there are circumstances around everything, but we can't deal with circumstances. We have to deal with the coaches who are the coaches at the moment. So, without further ado, boom, let's put these defenses on the tier.
You just, you just put that in their own little category. Nice, bro. I didn't put them 32nd, though, actually. I put them 31st.
Oh, right. I mean, there can be a team down there with them.
He didn't even
But
like put a name. It was just like, whatever.
no, here you go, Texas. Let's go ahead and start this off with how we're starting about defenses. Let let me ask you, Don, out of these defenses here, who do you think is the most likely? Like, who would lead the category? They can play well, but I think that defense will just be out there too long, and their stats won't tell you how good that defense is. That defense is going to be better than their stats.
Um, man, so that's it for me. I want to say people like, I know this is kind of poor. People are going to hear this, but I think people like Cleveland Brown, the Browns, you know, they have Miles Garrett. I mean, Denzel Ward, people like that. I just think that they're going to be on the field so much that are they going to have the ability to really keep that consistency going, especially with the trouble with the offense. I mean, so you're pretty much talking I mean, it's every day I hear something about that, maybe suspension, maybe not. So we don't really know what's going on with them offensively. We probably won't until at least preseason. Um, and so I would think that they're going to be on the field a fair amount. And that goes, so I would think that even though you have that really solid defense, I mean, these guys are name brand guys.
The more plays you're out there, the bigger
you're going to get worn
your
out.
stat numbers are going to be, and you're going to get worn out, like you're saying. So the end of those
Stuff like
is what we
that.
call garbage time in fantasy football.
Other teams.
No, just one now. Uh, well, what would you like from me, man?
Um,
Give me a category,
no,
or
I know what you
give
want.
me a team, one of the two. Give me a category or a team.
I would say let's do very good for 200.
Very good. Um, this is going to be a little bit low hanging fruit because I've read some articles and whatnot where some people are guaranteeing the New Orleans Saints the top five
Yeah.
spot.
Dang, man.
They
That's what
think
we're putting on.
like they'll probably be number 3
That's why I have
is
them on
what
my list.
I don't
I
like.
did.
I
But
don't
hey,
have the Saints number 3, dude. I don't,
I guess it's
because
better than being
look,
above average, right?
r-
It's very good above average.
yes, very good is above average. So yeah, the
I mean,
Saints are gonna be good.
so how many teams are you
It's
thinking
just
are going to be
one,
on the elite
two.
category? Two?
There's two 100% for sure.
Oh my
I will
god.
guarantee you
I
will
feel like
finish in
this
the
shows a little bias with those two teams.
hold on. Just listen to me. Just listen, man. There are two teams that I will 100% guarantee you will be in the top 5.
Okay.
I can only guarantee the two. The other three that I think, I think there's a possibility that my fourth ranked, or I'm sorry, my sixth or seventh ranked could possibly be swapped with one of my teams that I put in the top 5. But
Okay.
I know two teams 100% sure will finish in
I
the
wonder
top
who
5,
those two teams are. If
and
I were
and
to
they
guess,
and hold on, no spoiler alerts here. No
they both
spoiler
have blue
alerts.
uniforms.
And those two teams will be fighting it out for the first and second best defenses in the league.
Uh,
Those are the only two things I can guarantee, and so those are the only two that I'm going to have up
I almost
there
slightly
as the
disagree
elite.
with you about that.
But with the Saints, my thing is, I think they're pretty good, but I really think this is a case. I just don't have faith in that offense being able to be run to allow that defense to make that step and get that team further. They're very good. They're not good enough, but they're very good.
We'll see.
'Cause
But I do get what you're saying with the
They won't
offense.
win the South. They won't win the South.
But we'll see. I think you hate a little too much on the Saints, but I do get it. I do get
Putting them
it.
at very
I do
good
get
is
the
hating.
offensive thing, the offense, what you're talking about because of the 6 game suspension. With Kamara and then the problems with
Looming with
Thomas off
that. I don't
field.
have faith in the quarterback. I don't give a F if Kamara's there or not.
I mean, it would definitely help out
I
one
don't
team.
care about Jameis Winston numbers. I know people try to shove his numbers down my throat. I do not care what they are
It's all good. We just have
because
a
his
different
numbers
opinion about the Saints.
because his numbers don't say he's as bad as I tell you he is.
Eye test does, but that's just this. I mean, It's because we got a small sample of him being very good on the Saints right before he got hurt last year. But
And I
you're
have a
right.
big sample of hating him.
Tampa has a Tampa did not him and Tampa did not get along very well. He struggled, and they gave him plenty of chances, and he had arguably like top 5 wide receiver.
And I just can't. I mean, it's a
So
lot of bias, but I think my
sounds like a lot
bias,
of bias to me, just like your
but I
elite
think my
category.
bias,
But
I think my bias will hold true. I think it will.
I
You can
mean,
call it a
if it
biased
does, it's not
opinion,
biased;
but
it's fact.
I think in the end it will. Like, I'm
I
sorry,
I
man.
will give
I,
you that they're probably comparatively to the two teams you're talking about for elite, they're not as good
I'm
as
a
them.
Cane. I'm a Cane, and I'm telling you, no Florida State quarterback gonna be anything.
You don't know that.
Um, it has to be.
It's all
It
good.
has to be,
That
and
just sounds
as long
like
as the holds
a lot
true,
of
I'm good.
homerism right
All
there.
right,
So that's what
so
that was about.
let me ask you, um, a team that historically has had a good defense, and that's one reason why this disgusting team from Boston has been so good throughout the years, was because of defense. A lot of people say Tom Brady didn't win as many rings as he has. He has some of his rings because of his defense.
That's just some hater speak, dude. He's still got the 7 rings.
Does that still hold true for you to this day, or have you wavered a little bit? Where do you have New England, sir?
Uh, well, originally had him 6. Because they did step away from Hightower and Van Noy. They replaced them with some new cats. But after really looking at it, I kind of think they're going to be out of the top 10. Um, they might be 12, which I did have
Right,
them
we're not
above
doing
there.
numbers here, my man.
Well, I'm
Like,
talking about
where
numbers right now, so I'm going to say that just
top
based
10,
on.
I don't know if your 10 is very good or if you're very good as
No,
an
I
8.
think they're going to be above average for sure. They're definitely going to be above average. Will they be very good?
Do you think they'll be very good?
That's gonna be very that's a little bit more difficult to tell, just because I mean the Pats have been historically like a solid defensive team. Belichick knows how to run a defense. I mean he knows how to run a team, an organization, whatever part aspect he plays into, which is a lot. He it does well, and I think their offense has gotten at least another off season to train, get more solidified. Um, but I think they're definitely above average. They're not lower than that for sure. I think they're going to be a solid defense. I mean, but you're right. I mean, Tom Brady won that one ring because of Malcolm Butler. I mean, but at the same time, he scored the amount of points that they needed just for that catch. So
No,
I don't know. Either way,
he
the
won that
organization
Super
won the game.
he won, I'm gonna tell this again because there's gonna be some people watching this for the first time and they don't know my personal opinion on this quarterback. But Malcolm Butler got an interception because of who they tell us is an elite quarterback, could not throw an inside slant low in the Super Bowl.
It's
He
the same guy
choked,
who's supposed to
and
win another 3 Super Bowls on the Broncos.
and he's the same guy leading a team that they have an audacious 10.5 win over under for wins this
Whatever. All I
season.
know is they should let Marshawn Lynch
Ridiculous.
run the ball in. I know
It
you
don't
always say it
no,
doesn't
I don't
matter. It
care. I don't
doesn't
care.
matter,
I'm not. We're
but
not
it
talking about
does.
that. If
It
in if
does. They should have
no
just let him
no
run the
no,
ball
I
in.
don't care. I don't care.
He
Look,
just
I
ran
hate
like
him.
40
I
yards to
hate
the
him, but I
one
hate
yard
him. But
line, and
Tom
then you're
Brady,
like, "Hey, it's second down." I know you're gonna. Everybody
uh,
knows you're gonna run it.
right? I don't care that they should have run the ball. I don't. An elite quarterback makes that throw.
Uh, it's there's a lot of factors into that.
An elite quarterback makes that throw, and he couldn't make that throw. Pete
I
Carroll put his
mean, he's
faith in
won just
Russell
as many
Wilson.
Super Bowls as Aaron
Pete
Rodgers
Carroll,
and
Pete
Matthew
Carroll,
Stafford, and they call
Pete
Aaron
Carroll,
Rodgers an elite quarterback.
Pete Carroll put his faith in Russell Wilson to make one play, and he couldn't deliver.
That's neither here nor there because they should have run the ball.
That no, No,
Yeah,
it's neither here nor there because in this reality, on this timeline, my friend, they didn't run the ball. So we have to
I
deal with
know,
what happened.
I know, and that's why they lost the Super Bowl because they didn't run the ball.
All right. What you got for me, Don? What you got
Okay,
for me, bud?
what do you think about Dallas?
Dallas, I think this is a very, very, very good defense.
Yeah,
I mean, you're talking
would you rank
about
them?
um hold on. You're you're talking
You
about
just don't
having
want to
one
talk
of
about rankings.
the best rookies in the game that they can play defense really, really, really well. Um, Dallas, I put that defense. I think that defense is going to be very good.
Yeah, Micah Parsons was pretty dang good, man, last year. Defensive Player of
My
the Year,
thing,
right? Or was that
and
Rookie Defensive Player of the Year?
yeah,
Because Defensive Player of the Year was T.J. Watt.
and Dallas will win a lot of games. They, as much as we're hyping up Philly and we're upgrading the expectations of Philly, more than likely the Dallas Cowboys are going to win that division.
Oh
And
man, I've been really trying to push Philly in my mind, uh, just because of the cohesion of the team. But Dallas is good. They just don't have any unity. I feel like they're like a bunch of robots out there, like working for themselves, but they're all such
but
good robots.
I think that offense is going to put the Dallas defense in very balanced situations at the worst possible
I
moment.
mean, they're the high scoring offense last year.
No, I
So,
know, but they didn't win a playoff game, which
I mean,
tells
neither did
you
Green
their
Bay or neither
mistake.
did the Titans.
They. But I'm just saying.
No, you're right.
I'm just saying what happened. All I can use for reference is what actually ended up happening.
I I just
But
think that like
I think that defense is going to be very good, man.
I
I
do
think
think
it
they're going to
is.
be good. But yeah, I think that it's the lack of cohesion. I just think that they're not team players, is what it feels like. Like everybody's fighting for their paycheck, which I get it. You want to do good so you can get your paycheck, but I don't feel like they're playing for a win for the team. I think that they're playing for a win for themselves, and that's going to keep them from
Yeah,
not
I
doing their
no,
work.
I just think, and a lot of this has to do with my where, and you'll understand more when we do quarterback rankings, and you see where I have Dak.
I think
Like
Dak's overrated.
and I think that this running back situation, and people can, Dallas Cowboy fan can do whatever they want to. No, no, my friends, you have yourselves a running back situation. You do. You have one of the highest paid, one of what they tell us are the best running backs in the league, but yet you have a plug and play running back who is giving you the same production. I know a lot of that has to do with scheme, and that's a credit to the offense
That does have to do a
and
lot with
how the
team.
offense is run. So I don't want to take too much credit away from that Dallas Cowboy offense, but I'm telling you, it's just it's the wrong piece. That offense was really, really good in the offense. I watch them play every week. Why? But yet, no matter how good they are, they can't win a playoff game, and that hasn't changed yet, and it won't. But I'm going to tell you that defense is going to be very good. But don't get overhyped, Cowboy fan. It doesn't mean anything. Let me ask you, Don, a team that's really, really good, and we know they're going to be there in the end, but we have some questions about their defense. And we had questions about their defense all year. And I don't think the fact that they lost to Cincinnati the way they did is really a slight on their defense. It's just that was a really good offense, and they were kicking on at the time. And there were very few defenses that were going to stop Cincinnati on that day. But what's your outlook on that Kansas City defense coming into 2022?
I actually
Where do
surprisingly
you
like they
have
fell
them?
back a fair amount for me. I think with the loss of Tyrann Matthews in the secondary, I think that's going to be a big factor. I really need to see. I know we keep talking about offense too, but it really does depend on how much time your defense is on the field. And I think with the change of offense, I don't know if they're going to be. And I mean, maybe it will play out actually to their advantage because maybe they won't be as fast down the field as they normally are, or maybe that means they're going to turn the ball over. But I really do think that the Matthews loss is a big deal. I know that the
But
secondary
do
question
you
for
think
me.
if Pat is told and instructed in the game plan, hey, we need you to control this game a little bit more, just don't dart, look for the big play a little bit less,
Less.
move down the field a little bit slower. Do you think the Chiefs
I'm,
can still be as good as they are with that mentality?
the way I see him playing is a
I think
fast
their
paced
defense numbers will
player.
look better.
I think their defense struggled last year. I think they,
They,
they they did come on towards the end, and yeah, they did make it to the playoffs and almost to the Super Bowl again. But still,
I think they're better keeping their defense off the field.
I know, but I think that the way they play offense is fast paced. I think when they start to slow down is when they start making mistakes. It feels like. Um,
So, if your opinion, if we tell Patrick Mahomes to slow down the offense a little bit, they don't make the AFC Championship game
that's hard to say because they've made it the last 5 years in a row. So
at a certain play style. And to
I
add to
know,
your
I know.
argument, do you think they could
I,
still do it even if you don't think
I
it'll
think
be
they have
as
the
productive?
opportunity to do it. I think this year's really going to show you the Chiefs moving forward for the next couple of years. Because if they move on from Hill when Juju Smith just fills right in and we don't miss a single beat, I mean,
And I think that's what you feel about Kansas City. No matter the drop off of the offense, it's still better than most.
it is very good. And I'm not going to say that Mahomes. I mean, Mahomes is really a really talented quarterback. I
Mahomes
actually put
has a lot to
Kansas
do with it
City.
because he can create time.
I put him at 18. That's what I put him at.
The defense,
Yeah.
what what
Above that,
category?
it's probably going to be above average.
They're above average.
I, I,
Okay,
I don't think they should be the can you play well, but
that's
if
too
they're too
low.
long.
But they would look better if they weren't out there. They will be out there too long
I do think they probably will be out there too long.
because I know Kansas City came out on top this time, but
But
they
they
went to
struggled.
they went to the AFC Championship game and did not come out on top that time. But Kansas City has been very fortunate recently because they are a big play, big boomer bust team.
I mean, even their own fans, even after all they've given them over the last couple of years, they were like trashing them at the beginning of the season because they were doing
Because
so poorly.
right, and then in the AFC Championship game, it didn't work.
Yeah,
They lost that game right away. They went
yeah,
for a big play, 13 seconds in, and threw an interception in overtime
and
against
never got.
Cincinnati.
Yeah, yeah. But that's what I'm saying. So it's big plays. It's that fast pace moving. It's not like you don't see him just chip the ball down the field.
And you have to be very, very good and very, very on it to play like that. And if you can't hit it, you have to have the discipline to change your game plan and bring it back a little bit. That's what I'm saying. If you say to Patrick Mahomes, "Hey, can you dial it back?" I think this defense can. They won't look as bad.
Now, do you think that
And I think that's kind of how you think too.
I think that
But
they
if they are out there too long, they will be with the
I
Browns.
think your mic's giving you some feedback. Where you at? It's your mic. Golden? Okay, well, while you're fixing, I'm going to ask you a question. Now that Baltimore has come back from all their injuries, what do you think they're going to fall this year?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, your feedback's just like sounds like there's wind like coming through your feedback through your mic, or is it like getting roughed up in your beard?
How's that?
No, man. Maybe it's your connection piece.
It's real bad.
Yeah.
That's a bummer. Ask me again.
I was gonna say, now that Baltimore's injuries apparently dissipated, what do you how well do you think they're gonna do this year? Yeah.
No, I'm not talking. Look, number 3.
You're gonna give them elite? No way, bullshit. I'm not gonna agree with this. I don't agree with this at all. 0%. You
Look,
put the Saints in very good, and the Baltimore Ravens are gonna be elite. Now I know they had elite cornerbacks, but still, man. I know I asked you this question. Just go ahead, but your feedback, man, is like every time you talk.
yeah. Give me. Okay, hold on.
Personally, I think Britt's crazy putting Baltimore as the third elite because I know its first 2 picks. I definitely know who their first 2 are, but no, Baltimore will be a lot better. Um, I had them. What did I have them at? I had them at 11, but it's really just because of based on last year. I know their injuries were pretty bad. I think that's what Britt's going to get into. I just think that overall they are going to be better, but saying that they're going to be the third best, I don't know about that. That seems a little far fetched to me. Just because their offense, I think, is going to struggle this year, and based on everything we said, there's no way that their offense from other teams are going to struggle, and their defense is going to be kick ass comparatively. It would fall into the same category. If their offense is going to struggle, their defense is going to be on the field more. Can't hear you.
There you go.
Yeah, that is better.
Okay.
You go on why you made this crazy decision.
No, I just think, like you said, with all the injuries gone, this team at full strength, Baltimore, they have a history of building this team with the defense wins championships. I think this team playing at their best, staying healthy all year. There's no reason why they can't be a top tier defense.
They lost their best wide receiver. Okay, I know that Mark Andrews is killer at tight end, but just for the simple fact that you were going on about how offensive, if your offense is on the field enough, your defense is going to be on the field all the time. I have a feeling that their defense is going to be on the field quite a bit. Because Lamar Jackson is a fan of turnovers. He may be great, but he does turn the ball over a fair amount.
No, you're absolutely right.
I don't think they deserve that elite category at all.
Okay, where do you?
I mean, you placed them, and I asked you the question, so you can leave them there. But in my opinion, it's very good, not elite.
No, we can do that. I have no problem with that.
You can even put him in the first, very good.
No, I have no problem moving Baltimore down there. Zero problem with it. I just think they'll end up finishing third.
I think they have the ability to finish top 5. I don't know about third. I think they're going to finish first.
I think
Not
of
really, but
no. I think of the teams that will be in very good. If I think they probably have the most likely chance of leading that category. But let me ask you about a team that always wins their divisions, had a very, very disappointing playoff end. Them Green Bay Packers.
You know, um, I think they're probably going to be. I definitely want to say they're above average. Yeah, very good is. I know that Green Bay has historically had a pretty solid defense. They had one last year. The first two round picks. I mean, the first two picks went to Georgia defensive ends. So I think they solidified that front seven. Um, I think that I think that the loss of Devontae Adams, Aaron Rodgers isn't really going to be able to chunk the ball down the field like he was. So I think that'll slow down their offense just a little bit. I think that'll help with the rest time with the play with their defense. They are very solid, but like comparatively to even the Ravens, who like I think they're good, solid. They're a good team, but I just think they have a holes and chinks in their armor, man, that prevent them to being that elite team that everybody thinks that they're going to be. And maybe they're going to get that
True.
fixed. But even a team like that, I don't think they're as good defensively as the Ravens or even the Steelers. Um,
So you
but
would definitely um,
I
think
would
that Green
stream
Bay
them on
would.
a fantasy. I would stream them. I would probably pick them up if I'm playing in the league. I wouldn't mind picking them up.
You're very good category. Would you have no problem starting them week in week out?
Yeah,
Okay,
because
so
the
like you were
likelihood you're going to
saying,
get one of those elite, even the elite guys, it's always good to have a backup if you're. But like the
right,
two elites, I would probably leave in except for when they're on their bye weeks. The very good guys,
right,
I might rotate depending on how good one very
matchup,
good team is doing.
but a crazy close matchup.
The very goods are all going to be pretty much the same. It's just going to be who they're playing. Those elite guys are pretty much going to be a standard.
Right. Like you don't care which defense you have, Saints, Cowboys, Baltimore.
Yeah,
You're starting them if you have them.
yeah.
Uh, Green Bay, you hope they're not your go-to starter, but if you had to stream them for a week, you wouldn't be
You're
too
probably going to
messed about it.
get 4 points, 4 to 6 points on average.
Right. You're like, I'll play them. I have no problem playing them, but I'm glad they're not my starting defense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree. Okay.
All right. Do you think age is going to be a factor with Tampa Bay this year? Because I saw them finishing pretty high on most rankings. But I just think they're one of the older defensive crews out there, and so I just think is age going to catch up with them this year, or they still have another year in them?
Well, this
And we
is
all know Tom Brady is like the best time clock manager there ever was. So
a team I'm going slightly lower than what you look and see consensus. Uh, I'm just going to have Tampa Bay in the above average.
I feel comfortable with that.
I know some when you look at it, there's there's a lot of people who are confident that this defense will finish in the top 10, maybe the top 5.
Yeah, I've seen them
But
5 to 7.
right,
Yeah.
but like I just don't think so because the West is a lot different than people's perception, man. Or the NFC. The
Yeah.
NFC is a little bit different than people's perception, and that defense, I think they're good enough. They're definitely good enough, but I don't know. They They don't wow me. And
Yeah.
so, but I think they could be on the cusp of being very good.
I
But
think
I
they
don't
have
think
been
the
very good.
defense.
I think if anything, they're on their this. They might be on their decline.
But if I got to put a mean somewhere, I'd
Yeah,
feel more comfortable putting it above average than very good. I know with Todd Bowles, maybe you want to give a benefit of a doubt and upgrade Tampa Bay, which I would have no problem with, but I'm not going to do it.
they would
I,
probably
I,
be a team I stayed away from defensively. Truthfully, just there's too much unsure. I mean, they have been good, and I'm not saying they haven't been. Not to take anything away from them. I think they're going to be a good team this year. They're going to be a contender. I just they're to put them in like a very good with those other guys. It just feels like a knock on them. Not to be disrespectful or anything.
cool. Let me do. Would you rather Kansas City defense or Green Bay defense?
Green Bay.
Cool. All right, my man. Talk to me about I think a team that is very, very, very disappointing in the NFC, man. Uh, Talk to me about these Tennessee Titans defense and where you have them.
I actually have them pretty dang loaded. Um, all I can say is maybe Bud Dupree's is back from his ACL injury from 2020. That's going to give him some boost, but I'm discouraged in that team just because they're making their team one dimensional again without and not taking every time we talk about it. I'm not saying Derrick Henry's not good, but that one dimension that they're trying to make that team, that run heavy team with no way to pass to, I think that it's a make or break because if you can find out how to stop Derrick Henry, which we've seen it countless times in the playoffs, they get to the playoffs the last two years, lose the first game. I mean, they got the first round bye this last year, for God's sakes, and then they still couldn't manage to get a win. I just think if just enough game tape of him stopping that run, and eventually he's going to get to not this year, of course. The dude's a beast. So, but like you stop him, the defense is on the field more. I mean,
And
I
that's where you rely on your defense to step up and make a good play. Like you
but they didn't
have
really
to.
do much. Yeah,
When they figure out our offense, you guys have to step up until we can figure out an alternative.
yeah,
And I think there is very, very little faith that that Tennessee defense can step up and give the offense enough
yeah.
time to adjust their game plan. So isn't this a kind of an indictment on the coaching staff?
I don't know if it's the coaching staff or the organization. I mean, why get rid of AJ Brown? I just don't understand that you were finally like moving your team out of this one dimension, and like then you just put yourself back. I got it. Yeah, I mean, you got some good stuff from him, but still at the same time, that dude was definitely top 10 wide receiver. I mean, it's hard to say top five, but he's definitely, I would say at least top seven, top eight. Um, I would honestly put the Titans probably in that can play well, but they're not going to be there too long category. Say they're poor. I don't. You think they're poor?
I think they're poor.
Okay. I just think you don't make it to the playoffs in the last 2 years in a row if you're poor.
Without defense, without some sort of
Some
defense.
defense.
Oh, okay. I'll no.
And that's the
That
only reason I wouldn't say they're poor. But talking about Tennessee, happy birthday, Cody.
Oh, dude, that's right, Cody. Oh, dude. Uh, Big shout out to Cody, man. Been friends with him for
Turns 33 this year.
right. Just bought a house and everything,
Yeah.
man, dude.
Brush off your shoulders, pimp.
Good on him, dude. Right, dude. Happy birthday, dude. Pop the bottles, man. Um,
What do you call what do you think the new defense now that Brian Flores isn't the head coach of the Dolphins anymore? What do you think they're gonna fall? You hear that he won his court case?
No, I did, and that's yeah,
It's going to lead into another court case.
right,
So
yeah.
he won the first step.
He did. Miami's defense, man. Uh, I know I have the win total very, very low to have them ranked up, but I think this is a very good
Woo!
defense.
Wow! Woo! Shoot, dude! Dang, very good. Whoa, man! I always thought they were going to fall almost into the going to play well, but not there
No,
too long.
because here's my thing. If Miami wants to do anything, if they're going to beat the evil empire that formerly controlled the NFC East, they're going to have to play really good defense.
I mean, you're
And
right about that. I mean, because they're not winning the division, I can tell you that much.
no, no, they're not. But
But
if they want to, because I don't think three teams from our division will make the
they
playoffs.
almost did last year. They could have last year. The
I
Dolphins
know,
could. They lost one game,
I
and
know,
then
but
they could have been in there.
I just don't think it'll happen. A lot of it has to do with because of the NFC North,
Okay.
because
Okay.
that takes up a few playoff spots, man. There's not very many left.
No, I feel you. I mean,
So
I
yeah,
had them
so
17 on my ranking sheet.
so you have them above average,
They would definitely be above average.
but you don't.
Um, I'm
You don't.
just, I know they got a solid secondary, you know. Um, I just don't know how the new head coaching is going to work. Or I don't know. Are they going to have that same kind of? I mean, I know that the guys are still there and stuff like that, and some of those key players are still there. And man, did they rock at the end of last season, man. I mean, that's why they won those 7 games, man. Was because of their defense. It wasn't because of their offense. I can tell you that much. Um, Definitely above average. I'm I just want to see how this new head coaching plays out because I know even though, yeah, the defensive coach is still there and stuff like that, right? But it's just like I know the head coach does play into that too. You know,
Right. Well, we leave them there. We'll leave them
very
at
good's
very good.
fine. I mean, you win 7 games in a row after you're losing all that, you deserve to be,
I
you
have
know.
no problem with whoever we put up in very good after this. We put them ahead of Miami. I have no problem with that.
They're decent. I mean, they're good. They're good last year. I'd like to see Miami win a Super Bowl, man.
Oh, I wouldn't. Um,
Of course you wouldn't. But it's just like one of those teams that I think that they've struggled and they were good, and I was really watching their defense last year. I thought they were kicking butt. I just they couldn't get there. I like those underdogs, man. I think
what do
they
you
got
think about Arizona?
Arizona. They actually have fallen for me. I mean, they were banged up last year. Coming into last year, everybody was like, Arizona's going to be some elite team, and we saw them kind of falter. And problems with our offense is going to be an issue with their defense, like we've hinted to with other
Yeah.
teams.
But
Um,
the defense
they
broke down.
they relied heavily on J.J. Watt, just like Houston did. You can't put the whole defense on one player, even if it's J.J. Watt. And what happened right when he got hurt? Their defense fell apart. And so I don't know how much work they've actually done. I would say poor is probably the correct place to put them. They're not Houston poor or whatever that blank category is, but I think they're definitely in the poor category. You know,
Yeah. No, totally agree, man. Yeah, I don't have much faith in this team at all. At
now
all. I think they
that's
were overhyped. Overhyped. I mean,
they were over. They no, it's because everybody was like really believing in Kyler Murray. I think he's kind of showed some of his real colors. over the last off season.
Whatever happened to them, they got broke.
You
They got
know,
broke, man, and they can't fix it.
it's more than just taking out the batteries and putting them back in.
Yeah,
They're gonna.
this reminds me of Cam Newton in Carolina with that Super Bowl loss, and they didn't make it
That
that far.
destroyed him, bro. He was never the same after that. And
To
Colin
me,
Kaepernick, he's gone. He didn't get on the team.
and Arizona didn't even make it that far, and
I
I
know.
think
I
what
know.
happened to
Where was
Carolina,
Murray's yogurt commercial? Nobody
what
ever saw that.
yeah, what happened to Carolina happened to Arizona and Kyler Murray, man.
Talking about
So,
Carolina, how low did you put them?
man, dude, Carolina, dude, like,
They almost might be next to that team right there at the very bottom.
yeah, the thing about Carolina, man, this is a team in which, like, historically, you want to say, hey, that this is gonna be a good defense, right?
Yeah.
So like what historically speaking, where I would like to put them would be right here. Like, hey, no, it's a good defense, but dude, they're just out there too long, and it's
For a time, they
their
were above average.
their offense is putting them in a very very bad position. But no, no, it's not. I think this is a poor Carolina defense.
I think the whole team's poor, but yeah, their defense is not very good.
Yeah, and this is not. I have it hard to believe that this is going to be a very good team.
I had them 30th. Yeah,
That
it's only yeah,
that's
but
bad, man.
yeah.
That's bad. No, so that's good. Okay, if you read the thumbnail, everybody looked at the thumbnail. We saw AFC West, man. Everybody thinks this is going to be a great division. Everybody's going to win 11 games. I'm not going to rant. Haha, you thought I was.
No, I just think it's funny that I mean
Tell me
I don't
about this
know. All
Chargers
of them are
defense.
gonna. They technically could,
No, that is
but they're
stupid.
not like they're not going to. Like
No.
mathematically, they could.
Where do you have this Chargers defense, my
I
man?
knew it. The Chargers, man. I thought you were gonna.
Nope. Nope. The Chargers.
I honestly have them finishing fifth. I think. I definitely think they're very good. They might finish. See, my thing is what I think. What you think about Baltimore is what I think about the Chargers. I think they could finish third.
Oddly enough, I have Baltimore and the Chargers in my top five.
You know, I think they got Khalil Mack, Joey Bosa. You know, they signed J.C. Jackson. So I mean, their offense was outstanding. They lost last year out of the playoffs because they couldn't stop Josh Jacobs defensively. Josh Jacobs, who's
It's
literally
a
handed the
really
ball
good.
like freaking a million times because he couldn't do anything, but he got so many yards just because that's all he could do is hand him the ball last year. And he wasn't even a proficient runner. Like the year before that, he was much better. I don't know if that's just because everybody got game tape of him now, or just because the Raiders just kind of needed somebody to throw the ball to. And hopefully this year, now that they do, he'll open up a little bit more. He should open up a little bit more. Maybe he'll be that running back again. But that's not what we're talking about. I
Right.
think that they're going to be a very good defense. I had them finishing fifth on my page, possibly third. But definitely, I think they could finish in top five. I'll let you get away with that because you put the Chargers first.
Oh, it was just no order. I
Uh,
have it's for both of us at most likelihood of a top five, Chargers and
yeah.
Baltimore.
I
I
like
don't know.
I like the team. I've always liked the Chargers, even with Philly Rivers. I was a huge Philly Rivers fan, Philip Rivers. For y'all out there who don't know, but I've
But
loved that
also a fan of their
organization.
defense.
It is, but they've never had a defense, and they really haven't even had that great of an offense. They just had a really good quarterback. you know, and then they
Yeah.
had Gates, uh, and so
And it was all based on offense.
yeah,
But now I feel with Herbert, and I think Herbert's really, really good.
he's
It
great,
feels
man.
like
He's
it
gonna
feels
be a
like if
contender once he learns how to like slow down, not just be such a gunslinger. I think he's gonna dial it in and really be. He's gonna be the Chargers are gonna be a force to reckon with. I think for years to come.
because I think the Chargers are trying to put together a defense.
I think they're finally starting to like they're making moves to make this team like solid.
They're
Yeah,
like,
it sucks that it
we have
took
an
them this
offense
long.
that's good enough if
Yeah,
on their day, because they have wide receivers that can get open.
they didn't lose because of their offense. They lost because of their defense because they couldn't stop the other.
Yeah,
They were scoring points
they
last
got
year.
wide receivers. They can catch the ball. They can run around and create space. They have a quarterback that can throw a ball that doesn't necessarily rely on a wide receiver
Yeah,
creating a whole lot of space. They have a running back that is definitely effective enough.
yeah.
He may not be the best in the league, but he's definitely effective enough.
I mean, he's definitely I think top 10.
And I think that defense can hold their own definitely. And I think they added to that defense and made that defense better. I think that is a very good defense. The outlook is very high coming into 2022.
Yeah,
I
no,
like
for
them
real.
up there.
It's a good feeling being a lightning bolt for real.
Oh, dude, it is. It is. What you got, bud?
Um, all right, since talking about the division, what do you think about the Raiders?
I had a feeling you were going to go here, man. Las Vegas, man. Ah, dude. We
Do you think the
it,
addition of Devontae Adams is going to help their defense?
I think it will, and I think it'll pop them up a little bit because I think that offense will be more efficient.
Yeah, they added Chandler Jones, right? But I know that their secondary is
Mm,
still not the best.
correct. It does have to do with the offense, and I think with Devontae Adams added at wide receiver, I think whatever we want to say about Carr, I think he will be able to control the game a little bit easier because he has a good enough running back. He has a really good tight end. He can hit. Like, if he has time in the pocket, he can get the job done to keep a hold of the ball for a little bit longer and take care of it and not put that defense in horrible positions. And that defense can definitely turn out above average at the end of the season.
I think so too. I mean, I did. What did you end up putting them as on your rankings, if I might ask?
I have on the cusp of can play well, but out there too long.
Yeah, I have them 22, so I think that's probably where that would fall too. It might almost fall into poor, but I hate saying that they're
I, I,
poor.
I I know I talked real positively about them, but like
I think they're going to
any
be
team we
better.
throw into above average is going to be ahead of Las Vegas.
Yeah. So, but they're in above average right now.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be a big toss up between Washington and Raiders. Sorry, no spoiler alert.
Okay.
All right, let's get. All right, there we go. Donnie, Wa-
I actually had them neck and neck
Washington.
too, 21 and 20. I mean, 21 and 22 is what I had them at.
If you had to pick one.
If I had to pick one, I think Washington's going to be better offensively. So I think that's going to make their defense better. I just think that the secondary is really struggling on the Raiders. I think as far as like, I think the front line is better on the Raiders, but overall the defense as a whole is better in Washington. I think just like the Raiders, Washington's picking up their game, but they have a fairly new organization. So I think that's going to play in too because you see like the guys on the Raiders. They're getting a little bit older. Um, and so not old, but in football years, I mean, after 3 years, you're old. You're a veteran
Right.
after 3 years. So, I mean, to say old is a little bit different. I just think that I do like like you said, I do like the addition of the offense on the Raiders. Just last year, or just I guess the last several years, you've seen quite a bit of the Raiders defense on the field, and I think you see a lot of worn out Raiders defense. And I just I think that will
That's
be a
what I'm
little bit
saying, and
better.
I think having Adams is gonna open things up, man.
They just need some time off the field. They need more than just like 30 seconds off the field, bro.
No, because I think distributing the ball a bit more to Waller,
Yeah.
and Waller's good enough to be a top. We're not throwing Waller way the hell up there on the list of tight ends, but I'm telling you, he has the potential to be a very, 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 very good tight end. You can get him to Baltimore. If Carr can get Waller to Baltimore, like I think they can control the game, and that
Yeah.
defense is going to
But
look
to answer your question, yeah, I do
really
think the
good.
Commanders are going to be much better. Not much better, but I think they're going to be better. I had them higher on the rankings as far as mine are concerned. Now, here's a question, Britt. There's been a lot of
Yep.
commotion about this Broncos organization. I
All right,
know,
man.
I know
You're,
you.
you're
The
trying.
reason
You're trying to.
I asked you this question because of your reactions, and you said you weren't going to rant about them anymore. But I just couldn't resist. Uh,
Of,
do
of,
you
of,
think the changing of
cour-
the
of
hands, as far as
course.
the ball is concerned, with the Broncos organization, are they going to come out and have a stout defense? Because I mean, last year it was fairly stout, but their offense really was not very good. Um,
Hindered their defense. Correct. And even with all that, that Denver defense was
but
look
do you
still
think with
looked
the
really,
even
really
with
good.
the
They
better
had good
offense,
stats.
do you think their defense is going to be able to put up that front and to enable them to get that over under that they think that they are going to possibly break? You wouldn't let me. Yeah, I had to finish
Um.
my question.
Yeah. Uh, Possibly because what they're relying on is a perception. Russell Wilson is coming off a sub 500 season.
And you've already slandered his
So
name once this podcast.
this defense probably, and most football people too, have this perception that Russell Wilson is an elite quarterback. I still hold on to the whole thing. If Russell Wilson was an elite quarterback, he could throw a low inside slant and hit a wide receiver in the end zone in the Super Bowl to win.
Statistically, it's much
But
harder to throw that close to the goal line than it is just to run in the ball. But that's not what you were
I'm
saying.
not arguing that. But if we're going to throw it into an elite category, he has to make that throw in that situation.
Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
sorry.
Okay. I know. I
Especially,
know.
yeah.
I know. I know he does.
So I get how people want to say, and the media wants Russell Wilson still to be so good and so effective still. So let's move him to a new team, have a fresh start, and Russell Wilson can still be the poster boy of the NFL.
Is he still the poster boy of the NFL? I thought that faded away quite a bit
I don't
ago
think
when
so. I
Mahomes
felt
came
so.
in.
But Denver, man, I think
Dude, I've
I
seen
just
him
don't.
fall pretty high
Yeah,
up there,
I've seen him.
or
I've seen
closer
him
to the front of
hit,
the totem pole, I should say.
but
Above average, that's fair.
this is what I've seen him like probably about here.
Yeah, I have. I've seen him even in front of the Chargers on some rankings, but
Oh,
I think
dude,
that's
I've seen the Chargers
yeah,
down
that's crazy.
here.
That's crazy talk. It's just crazy talk. But yeah, I mean,
No, I
there's
think
a.
it's a reflection of the lack of faith in Herbert. They think Herbert's really, really good, but they won't admit he's not as good as how people perceive, as good as you think he is. You don't think he's going to be that. You don't think he's going to be great, but
I
everybody
mean,
thinks you think he's going to be great. So you have to hold on to the fact that he's going to be great, and you have to still deal with the fact that he's not going to.
I think he's going to be great. I think. I think that I definitely see a ring on his finger by the end of his career, if not
Herbert,
more. Yeah.
Herbert. I'm sorry, but no, he's Dan Marino.
That's exactly the quarterback I was thinking in my head he reminded me of. I was like, he's like Dan Marino, but maybe he'll actually win a Super Bowl.
Sorry.
Yeah, we'll see.
There's too many current better quarterbacks right now. Not too many, just
I mean, it only takes once you make it to the playoffs, it only takes 3 games.
no, you're right. All right. I believe you asked me that question, right? Yeah.
I'll ask you another one.
All right, go ahead, man.
Okay. My question is, do you think that Cincinnati has a chance to do even better than they did last year? And do you think it was their defense that were the reason they fell short last year?
To answer your question, no. I think this
Wow,
is a
really?
deep.
That low?
Yeah.
Dang, bro. For real?
Did you watch the Super Bowl?
I did. But I mean, any team would have lost to the Rams last year.
Yeah.
And they didn't really it wasn't like a
Not any team.
blowout.
Not any
It wa
team.
Yeah, they would have beat the Bills last year. I mean, for God's sakes, Chiefs beat the Bills last year. Um,
The,
what, you gonna blame it on a coin flip?
nope.
Okay,
No.
that's what I
No.
thought.
I'm going to blame it on leaving Hill wide open for some reason and then
So,
leaving Kelsey wide
so
open for
how do they
some
get your number
reason.
one spot on defense this year? Because I know that's who you're gonna put number one as. Um, so anyway,
Don't spoil the show. We're
I'm not spoiling the show. Everybody knows it. Anybody who watches the show knows it.
But am I
Um,
wrong?
about who?
Am I wrong? Well,
Well,
we'll get
based
there
on
later,
did you watch
apparently.
the Super Bowl? Did you watch the game before the Super Bowl? The one where they left not one but two guys open, not put them in
Yep.
overtime and then
I know.
made them lose. So
Yep.
does that deserve the number one spot? I don't know. But I just think I think the Bengals at least deserve above average. I mean, they were a solid team. I don't put them on the same level as the Titans or the Browns. Yeah, that's fair.
You'd rather have Green Bay? Would you rather stream Cincinnati or Green Bay?
I would honestly I stream the Bengals because honestly I think that every time I've streamed they've never let me down.
If you were
So,
streaming the defense, New England or Cincinnati?
New England.
All right. Kansas City or Green Bay?
You asked me that already, Green Bay.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Um,
Cool.
but I just think that I think that as far as Cincinnati, I think they just have a young team, and I think they've grown. I think they've grown this offseason. I think they're going to be right back there in the playoffs. But I don't know if they got what it takes to beat some other playoff teams. So
All right. Where, my friend? Let's go with a team that we think could possibly be good and make some noise, my friend. Give me
the Vikings,
Minnesota.
I put them fairly low, my guy. I have them 23. They're riddled with injuries, and was it Daniel Hunter and Zadavius Smith? They both sustained pretty significant injuries last year. That's really what kind of messed them up defensively. Um, and I don't think it's going to get too much better. I would put them in the poor category, unfortunately.
Right.
And I hate
So,
saying that because everybody keeps saying how like the Vikings are going to come out and like have a good season. It's just hard for me to see that.
dude, I know, right? Like when we talked about what, my man, they have a 8.5
I don't even think we could
win.
get them to there if I remember correctly.
No, we didn't.
I think it'd be
We
like
got
five
them
or
between
six.
6 and 7.
Yeah,
Yeah.
6 or 7. Okay.
All right. What you got for me, bud?
Now San Francisco really kind of balled out, or really kind of did the unexpected at the end of last year with their defense. Do you think that that's going to roll through this year? Because I've seen at the beginning, like I don't see them too high anymore, but like a month and a half ago, like they were in people's top 5 defenses. I was even thinking about maybe top 5, but I think just the way that they're playing out with the Deebo Samuel situation, and they don't know who they're going to go with the quarterback. I think that's really going to, and that's going to play into the team. Like, are we going to have a solid team like we did last year? You know, because it was the defense that got them that far in the playoffs,
Right.
or in general into the playoffs. So will that defense still be there?
I I wouldn't argue anybody putting them at the end of the very good category, but I'd rather have them near the top in the above average.
I think that's fair. I think that Nick Bosa and what was it,
There's talent. There's
Armstead.
no question that that team is full of defensive talent.
I think they just need more. You got really good guys, but you don't have enough, or you don't have enough of just some moderately good players
Right.
around them.
The fact is with San Francisco, and I know what I'm about to say, totally contradicted because of their playoff run, but there's just too many mistakes from that offense for that defense to overcome. I know I'm proven wrong now, just because of the playoff run, because they won 2 games they had no business winning.
They weren't very high scoring games.
Eh,
So it was
But
obviously the defense that won them those games, like I
like
said. But you are right.
that defense might be very good.
But good enough to really make the distance. I think they are above average.
I wouldn't throw money on it. I wouldn't recommend it.
Yeah,
But
it's scary.
I wouldn't argue with you. I'd be like, hey, you're gonna make a lot of money if you're right.
They are probably a team that people win money on. Um, Shoot, man, I just don't know how that Deebo Samuels thing is still looking a little iffy. And if he doesn't sign with them,
I don't know
their
how
their
that offense
offense
is
is.
gonna control the ball.
That's what I'm saying. Their offense is going to be non-existent if that guy leaves.
All right. Jets. How do you think the Jets
Man,
defense is gonna
as
look this
well as they have been picking players and changing their team around, unfortunately, I've put them at 25. And they were able to pick up some good players in the first round, the first couple rounds, Sauce Gardner, stuff
Mhm.
like that. I think is amazing for the Jets. I think they've really started to I'm not saying they lost how to pick players, but it seems like as many first round picks as they've gotten over the last years that never came to fruition. I think they finally kind of were going in a way that's really going to benefit them in the long run. But these guys are new, and I think it is going to take them a second to get established in how the NFL is played. Even though they were top tier college players, it is a different game. I think that will play into it. So I would definitely say that they're not poor by any means. And I think they do have an opportunity to finish, close to top 15. At least 15 to 20 at least. Um, but I just put it 25 just because I felt like these are new cats, and it is going to take a little bit to establish some, some knowledge, some understanding on how the teams play together, some cohesion with the players, stuff
Hmm.
of that nature. I mean, because you can practice all you want, but when you're getting hit by other guys from a different team, it's a total different game.
Right.
And
Would you rather roll with New York over Cleveland and Tennessee?
I'm it's a coin flip between the Browns just because
Depends on how Derrick Henry's running and how well the running back game is working
I
for
think I
Cleveland
would
too.
play the Jets over Tennessee right now. I don't know about the Jets over the Browns just because those are like solid veterans on the Browns. But and I think both I mean the Jets offense, I mean they still got Chubb. It's hard to say that the Browns offense is worse than the Jets. I think they're pretty much even right now.
Word.
Now
All
if
right. What you got for me?
um let's see. There's been a lot of hype about Philly this year.
I
And
know,
I
and
know
some of it.
you kind of hinted at them when you were talking about Dallas.
Hmm.
How well do you think Philadelphia is going to do? Because I mean, they have had a last year their defense wasn't the greatest, but the offense was coming on. Do you think that they made moves to increase their defense, or they're pretty much going to fall out where they fell out last year?
I think they're going to be above average. I think they'll be somewhere in between these two teams.
I had them at 16, so it's a little bit higher, but I think they could be above. It might
Right
be the
now, this
last above average. It might be the last above average in my opinion, but
so I might have them on your ceiling
yeah,
because if you have a range for Philly, I this is probably the top.
yeah.
Cool.
I,
All right,
I
my
just
man.
I like. I think Philadelphia is going to do much better this year, and
Just not sure about the defense.
I'm not. I don't think they've improved the defense too much. But having time off the field, like we've been saying, might just be what they need to.
But if Hurts can take care of the football,
Which I think he's getting there. I don't think the organization was giving him enough credit at the beginning, and then he finally like won his spot, and then now he's got confidence. I mean, he had confidence in himself, but it's always nice to know that the organization's behind you too.
word, right? All right, talk to me. Where do you think this Pittsburgh defense will fall?
I actually had them finishing. I wanted to put them higher, but I put them at 14. But I do think they're above average. I don't think they're poor. I mean, they got T.J. Watt, they got Cameron Hayward.
So they'll
Excuse me.
be around like this.
I would say they're probably between the Bengals and the Jet and the Green Bay. So they're probably there. And
Word.
the only reason the thing is the Steelers are a defensive. I mean, a solid defensive team. The defense isn't what they lost last year. They lost the head of the ship, man.
Yeah.
And I mean that guy's gonna be hard to replace. And yeah, Trubisky, I think, is still the guy that's gonna get that spot at least for the first couple weeks. I think, unless something happens drastically. Um, I think as long as he can keep the ball rolling, at least moderately successfully, then the defense should be pretty solid. I know some of those cats are getting a little older, but I mean, finding guys like T.J. Watt, I mean, your defense is going to be solid. I don't think they're going to struggle as much on that side of the ball as I mean, because some people are talking about just the whole team is like going to implode. I
Right.
don't think
Yeah.
that's necessarily true. I think that the defense is pretty much where we left off last year, with just more experience. And who knows, maybe this new quarterback will be somebody that can change a pace. We got to see. We've seen him at playing with the Bears, but the Bears were not nearly as good as the Steelers. So maybe that'll play to his benefit, which will play the defense benefit.
Right.
But I don't think they've lost any step. And Pittsburgh's usually a defense I would stream. I would feel comfortable. It's comfortable streaming.
Especially if it's a home game.
I mean, they're usually good for 6 to 7 points. You know, I mean, I've never gotten a 0 from them. So,
Right.
like,
All right. What you got for me, man?
Let's go with.
Let's run through these.
Who do you think's better, Detroit or Seattle?
Oh man.
Because I'm pretty close to my rankings.
Yeah, I do too, man. Where
I think they both fall into the poor category, but that wasn't
right
my
now,
question.
I would do this.
Yeah. Okay. I had them the other way around, but honestly, it was so close it didn't matter. They were like connecting 27 and 28. And that's the Detroit's getting better, supposedly. Maybe. I don't know. They finally won a game, so I can't say.
But they tell me
they're getting better. Seattle's gotten worse. So I'll go with you on that. I mean, if you just want to run through it, I think the two we really want.
Hold on. Give me one of your elite defenses.
I mean, we already know who the two are, bro. Everybody else.
All right, give me the two elite defenses.
The Bills and the Rams.
All right, I'm not gonna argue with that, man. Well, I don't care how we'll do it like that.
I mean, the Rams got such killer names on their defense, and they've also found Miller, but like you said when we were talking about earlier, a couple of podcasts ago about the Bobby Wagner being the spot that they were suffering on, and adding him is really going to benefit them. But the Bills were the number one scoring defense last year, and I think they're both really good teams with really good defenses. And
how bad are Atlanta and Chicago going to be?
I think everybody besides Indianapolis is going to end up in the poor category.
Is Atlanta down here or poor?
Yeah, Atlanta's right there.
Chicago's going to be poor. The Giants are going to be poor. Jacksonville.
Yeah, they all finished pretty low in my rankings.
We're putting Indy here?
I would say Indy's very good. They're talking about at least.
Right.
Okay, you can put them between San Francisco and.
No. I'm fine. I'm fine. Yes. I won't argue. with.
I think they're going to be a good team.
I won't argue with that. Very good defense.
So that's honestly how I think it. That's pretty much. That seems legit with me.
Yeah, I like it too, man.
Maybe move the Jags to the can play well, but not for there for too long. But other than that, nothing really.
Okay, so let's like here.
Yeah, that's no. I mean, the Vikings. No, the Vikings are probably going to be better than the Jags. Put them, yeah, that's fine. That's fair.
Cool. Awesome, man. So there, boom, dude. Our defensive rankings. We went a little long, but that's because we ordered them a little bit more than we thought we would. I just thought I'd throw them in the categories. You can do that in an hour, no problem. But if you're going to start order them, going to run into time, right? But Don, my friend, this was
Thank you, Brit.
Putting this together, dude.
Thanks for having me on.
Defense.
Y'all be safe, and I will see y'all next week.
Dude, next week.
Oh, what are we doing next week?
Next week, I don't know. We'll put it out there. So make sure you hit up FTB on Twitter. They'll let you know what we're going to discuss. Uh, you know, follow us, Brit1502, of course. Donnie. Um,
Just follow Brit.
just follow me, man. We'll tell you your stuff. What's up? But thank you all for joining us. This is as fun as always, and we'll be back with y'all next week. Take care.